Good morning, friends. Welcome again to Comics Odyssey. I'm Ulysses. Today we're going to look at the resources that I most commonly use as I make my comic books, and hopefully this will help you out as you make your art and write your comic books. So first, drawing resources. One that I use a lot, you can see here, is Sketchfab, sketchfab.com. You can search really any kind of thing and it'll probably bring up a 3D model of it. And what's great about them is you can zoom in and out and you can move them around, so it is a 3D model. So for stuff that's a little bit tricky to draw in perspective, this is super helpful. By the way, Spirit Girl number 3 is available for sale. comicsodyssey.ca/store. Links below. My best work yet. It's actually a really good comic and I'm proud of it. I think you should check it out. There will be a trailer for it at the end of this video. So again, related to drawing, photo reference packs. Photo reference, you can get Pinterest, of course, which is a great resource for various images. I've aggregated a bunch of images for reference for flying. You can see a lot of swimmers. Swimmers look like they're flying underwater. Volleyballers too, pole vaulters and so forth. And of course, lots of images of, flying characters. But also, as you save stuff, it'll show you more of that stuff that you seem to have been interested in before. A lot of these buildings here, lichen, I've been into lichen lately. So it'll make suggestions. So maybe you can come up with some ideas that way. More references. If you go to DeviantArt and search the Pose Archives, this Australian couple who put together photo packs of just various images. But yeah, for the most part, free stuff if you're logged in. If you want to buy some stuff, I go to ArtStation. There's a few that I use. This is Satinzilla. Got really good variety of photo packs. Here's one for hands, bunch of animals, anatomy stuff, action poses. You do have to pay, but they often have sales. Another one is Graphit Studio and Melref Images. These are ones that I use a lot, and between the three of them, I'm not lacking for anything. Now, of course, you can use yourself as a reference. So here I'll show you the image of somebody waking up here, and I use myself as a reference, right? A guy carrying books, that's a pretty specific reference in that specific angle, so I made the reference myself, right? The dude stuck in a cave, I made that reference myself. Now, of course, along with that comes Photoshop, which is a really good reference for artists if you don't have it already. You can do simple photo editing or advanced photo editing. In this case, what I find is useful is when you get your photo, add the threshold filter here, and then you can adjust it, right? So that you get like your pools of blacks, which gives you an idea of where the light may fall. You can always do an invert here, It'll give you like the opposite of where the light would go. So those are some tools I use for drawing. Okay, so now let's switch to writing. I want to shout out just quickly Fred Van Lente's course on script writing. This would be strictly for writers who do not draw. He does have a good section on thinking visually, even stuff on character design and how to communicate to your artist what you need visually, and how to understand what your artist can and can't do, and the types of communication your artist needs in order to make your comic book. If you go to domestica.org and search this title here, generally when you first visit, they give you like a wicked discount. Here it's 93% off, just to get you buying stuff, and then they promote you more stuff, but you don't have to get it. Here's for writing one of the references that I use the most. Making comics, I always go back to this. He gives an example of expressions, what the basic expressions are, how to modify them. There's lots of information on the relationship between what's going on in your word balloon and what's going on in your picture, the different types of relationships. So it is kind of a how-to, but it's more of a how to think about comics. So this is always good to revisit. Excellent resource for comics makers. And we got the DC Comics Guide to Writing Comics. It may seem like a little bit basic, but I find when I revisit this that it reminds me of the comics making fundamentals. For Spirit Girl 3, I was reading this and was reminded of a certain concept in making comics that resulted in me cutting out an entire page of Spirit Girl. It's like, and same as in martial arts, you can't always think that you're advanced. You always go back to the fundamentals to make sure those are solid, because that's what you build everything else off of. So pretty interesting book. We've got a Comics Odyssey video coming up on this in a couple weeks, so subscribe so you won't miss that. Okay, final thing that I wanted to bring up is this famous sheet called Wally Wood's 22 Panels That Always Work. This is especially related to the quiet sections of your comic when there's maybe no intense action going on or anything. It's how to make it look interesting, even though there's, it's kind of a static shot. How to make it dynamic anyway. And this is good for brainstorming ideas, what might go in your panels, getting yourself unstuck. So something to keep in mind. Those are my main resources that I use when I make comics, in terms of what I refer to a lot. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on this. What kinds of resources do you use? Maybe leave a comment below and we can kind of build kind of a resource, a pool of resources here. Thank you for your attention. I'll see you in the next one. Remember, Spirit Girl number 3 available for sale, and here's the trailer to that comic.
Travel to the faraway continent of Estland. Immerse yourself in a grim tapestry of forbidden magic, ancient curses, and blood-soaked intrigue. Follow along as Berchier, chieftain of the Khal, a towering race of giants, shackled by a ban on sorcery, faces accusations of wielding forbidden powers. But a plucky young mage gambles his life to shield the doomed Berchier and his people. Centuries pass. The cursed Khal claw through the lightless depths of the veins. Their savage clashes and profane rituals birth the guileful villain Stormhand. Ancient bitterness festers across generations. Its dark tides now surge toward the unsuspecting town of Hairy Bear. This 30-page comic is richly layered with meaning and alive with atmosphere. Plunge into a haunting fantasy epic laced with arcane mysteries and foreboding awe.